Welcome to
Likewise.
SHMEZOLUTIONS 2020.
2020. And I come on here after watching the replay of my 2019 resolution, SHMEZOLUTION,
Oh, really?
and find myself in an incredibly different place. Physically, everything. I moved into my own apartment, as you know, and things are just really solid. Kind of top to bottom, I will say. And comparing to last year, knowing how I felt last year, it's like insanely different in all really truly all good ways. Even after a year that some would say was just like a total shitstorm. It was certainly difficult, but it's great. It's great.
He is in a different place.
Yeah. Say that again.
Christina said you seem like you're in a different place.
Yeah. And yes, the apartment is a part of it.
Apartment.
Like living in my own space again is a piece of it, but it's done so much more beyond that, right? So last year there was just like a lot of friction and trying. I think a big piece of the intention last year was like getting to those and finding those moments of serenity, like you feel if you're on a vacation, and getting into that space
while you're at work.
Yeah, work in your daily life, even at home when you come back. And it was probably just more difficult for me to physically feel that last year for whatever reason. You're just, in your parents' house. It's just different. And as soon as I moved out, I'm out like 2 months now. It's like our relationship is totally changed in the way that I knew it would once I was out.
With your parents, you mean?
Parents, yeah. And just more so everyone around me as well. So it was obviously like a necessary move.
It was time.
Yeah, exactly. And then I guess like res shmez wise this year, yeah, it's like this whole idea basically for a whole year of trying to, hey Jordan,
sister. I love SHMEZOLUTIONS because it's friends and family night.
That's it. Come one, come all. Of like over the last year of trying to find that place where it's just like you truly feel and know that you're in the place where you're supposed to be, and you're just living there, feeling really good in that space. And it took a while for that sort of vision, intention to take hold.
Well, and the when is not up to us.
Exactly.
So
and like as soon as it happens, you just kind of like know that it's there. It's tough for me to explain into words like, oh, how exactly are you feeling? But I just know and feel that it's right.
Well, and there you go. It's always simpler than we think. And we talk about getting super clear about intentions. We talk about aligning with intentions. And what is aligning with intention other than what Ian just said? Which just feels right.
And I have found through the past year, I've just totally simplified that, even the resistance at points, just totally simplified.
The resistance to...
Just in terms of feeling friction in life, let's say, or not in that place, rather than my brain often going to like super analytical mode, trying to put words to it.
Yeah.
It's not the feeling that I want to be, but I know where I want to go. I have this idea, this whole, complex intention, vision, whatever, you want to call it, in there. And although it took, 10, 12 months, whatever it is, timing, who even knows, feel like I'm there now. But then now looking to this year, 2021, obviously hoping that it starts off like nice and smooth, no surprises would be great in general life. But I want to work on, in terms of my work, right? So I feel like my personal life, social life is really moving along in like a really great place. So in my work, it's getting back sort of in touch with like this very intuitive approach to the way I'm treating people and working with people. There were at times this year where I kind of got more into like strictly numbers. Especially moving.
Do you want to tell people what you do?
I'm a chiropractor.
Excellent.
Sports chiropractor. Well, family practice, but yes, focusing on sports and athletics.
Mhm.
Yes,
AKA
get back.
healer.
Say that again.
AKA healer.
Yeah, a healer, chiropractic healer, the arts and sciences. But getting back into more of that, I am a healer intention, which we worked on, talked through a good amount, especially leading up to starting work. And then,
Yeah, I remember.
boom, here goes. I'm almost working for 2 years now. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
So on the days, no matter how long, no matter how many people I see, no matter how difficult the cases are that come in, on those days where you're just super present in the flow, like intuitively flowing through that day, it's clear that the patient can sense that and feel that. I know that I'm on that like groove, and results are good. I feel good physically, mentally, energy wise throughout the day. Versus some days where I know that I'm in just like pure numbers mode, like get through the day, be on time, give people the work, like work them enough so they feel like it's working, versus me just going off of my sort of skill and intuition of just knowing when that's right.
Yeah.
And making that fit into the model that I'm in right now.
I want to ask you something. Who are your best patients? How would you characterize or describe them?
Yeah. There are certainly like a select number of people that there's instantly like this repartee connection. And
how would you describe them?
I would describe them as like kind of having sort of this innate trust that what I'm about to do is going to help their situation. Very little doubt in their mind that everything, no matter what it is, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
So they're trusting,
very trusting
of the process of you.
Yeah, I think just like trusting and open to the process of like
open.
Very much so. I like to explain a lot of what I'm gonna do, so everybody feels comfortable in the room. And people who are just like, it's all good. Like, do what you have to do. Like, I trust you.
Compliant.
Yeah, compliant. Hopefully, not coming in with 12 out of 10 pain and unable to walk, but but even that, like, I've had a few cases this year of that where when they first came in, I doubted myself, like, holy crap, like, I don't really know how long this is going to take you to get over this. And everybody wants to know that. And it's like, give them a number to give them a little expectation, because that's what they expect. And that doubt in myself slowly fades as they come in each day. And it's like, oh, wow, like, I feel great. I do feel better. I do feel better. And just keeping them on this even keel, mentally, emotionally, physically, to just work towards that.
And are there
end goal?
Got it. In your experience so far, and as you think about your practice in the future, are there specific types of conditions that you either specifically want to work with or not work with?
Yes. Is that a yes or no question? Specific? Yeah, definitely. Like, there are certainly.
So what do you like? What do you want? In terms of a patient?
The type of person I want to see? Yeah, like someone who feels and knows that they are in control of their own outcome. Like, they know that what we're going to do in the room, what they're going to do, what we'll talk about and they'll do at home, that they'll do it and trust that that's going to make them feel better. And they're compliant in doing so.
Yeah. Okay, so here's why I'm asking this. And even though we're talking...
Great questions.
Oh, well. Finished my job. Thank you. I'm glad. So here's why I'm asking these specific questions. And what I was just going to say is that Ian's a chiropractor, healer, and yet what we're talking about is really for any entrepreneur who deals with quote unquote customers or patients, right? In spiritual workout world, you guys are subscribers, right? Or patrons or spiritual workouters, right? And so I wanted to see if you want to play around with or get serious about cultivating an intention for the kinds of people you want to work with. Christina's talked a lot about this. I talk a lot about this. Any of us here who, like I say, are dealing with this. And so, of course, you can set intentions for yourself, how you are, being present and being in the flow and all those things. There's nothing wrong with that. But I wanted to see if this had any interest or resonance with you.
Cultivating like that type of person that you work with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think would. I think there is a belief in there where it's like, I can't necessarily control that, which I know is like probably not. It's a fine place to start, but it's not necessarily the truth. Because it's funny that you do say that, because there are weeks where I'm just in a good groove for 5 days, 6 days, 6 days. And all the patients and the new patient that you're seeing, people are gradually getting better. The new patients that I'm seeing are of that quality. People that, not necessarily that I'm averse to working with a difficult condition, right? Like that's part of what I do is, no matter how bad you come in, we're going to work you towards a better place.
Right.
I do think I can do a better job with any patient of using type of language of like helping them sort of subtly with this own sort of healing intention. Right? Like giving in this whole idea of the thought of, as bad as it is now, it wasn't this bad 2 weeks ago. And in 5 days, 10 days, or a week, it will get back to there, right? Like we're gonna move towards that space of as quick as it came in is as quick as it's gonna go out. And that's a piece of like the tapping, right? Like no matter where it came from, no matter how it got there, it's gonna go.
Yeah.
And without getting too, on these people, just like giving them little tastes here and there. Yeah.
I get all that. And I want to go back because here's the deal. I know you can set an intention or reinforce an intention for how you want to be at work. That's why I want to branch out to here again, if it resonates with you. But it's also a fun, interesting intention dynamic that we can't ever intend for other people, but we can intend for ourselves.
Right.
And yet, if we are practitioners, we can intend for what we want to attract. So it sounded like you were saying, well, yeah, that'll never happen.
Right.
I can't do that. I can't control that. But it's not about you figuring out how it happens. It's about you saying to the universe, I am eager to fill my practice with people who are trusting of me and the process, who are open, who take responsibility for their healing, who are compliant, who are partners with me in their healing, who are invested in healing.
Sure.
So you don't have to figure out how that's going to happen.
Right.
And you don't get to figure out when. And it sounds like you're in a system where you're not just standing hand-picking the people who come in at this moment. But if only if it's interesting to you, if you don't want to do this, you don't have to. But if you had an intention for the kinds of patients that you want to work with.
Sure.
And you really cultivate that every day and just, however much you have to. Some months, a year will go by and you will notice wow, my
Everything's slowly
practice
shifting. Yeah.
has way more of these people than not.
Right.
So you can do whatever you want in your practice, but if this idea resonates, and especially if it sounds fanciful, if it's like, well, yeah, that would be nice, but that's a load of crap. I'm just, you know. Well, that's the whole rub of law of attraction.
Totally.
Is everything is possible.
Definitely. And I think like using the last year as an example, like that's to be able to almost see it in action in a way and feel it in action
Well, yes.
more so than seeing it. Obviously, like magnifies that trust in it, right?
In the process.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Totally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
You know,
start working on that. Start moving into that space a little bit. Yeah.
It's an idea. And mostly, not mostly, but equally, I was just using you to address a whole bunch of other people
Totally.
who are doing some version of the same thing.
Yeah.
And again, you guys, there's a fine line between we can't intend for other people. I can't intend for people who come to resolutions, SHMEZOLUTIONS, to have a good time. I sure hope they do. But I can't intend for that. But I can intend for the idea that the people who show up are people who want to be here, who find use and value in it, who think it's interesting, who like to geek out on New Year's Eve talking about intentions.
Totally.
You know? And I would say that pretty much describes most everybody I've seen so far.
I would agree. It's
so
good vibe.
It's a really
good vibe kind of night.
Good vibe kind of night. All right. So is there another schmez that you want to talk about?
No, that's the big thing. I mean, other than that, it's like, you know, just really feeling what that good hard work-life balance looks like. Finding time for myself in a year where, you know, truly haven't taken much time off since I was, what's the word I'm looking for? Furloughed for a month from work with COVID. And like been working like 6 days a week for most of the year.
So I've mastered work-life balance.
Yeah, totally. Like completely find time for myself in the appropriate moments, find adventure through life, right? Have fun, just enjoy. It's like
I enjoy when I go to work. I enjoy when I have time to myself. I enjoy hanging out with people I like to hang out with.
That's it.
It's really nice to have balance in my life, that incorporates my work and my fun, which should be all the same anyway.
Totally. Yeah.
Right?
Really.
Like integration again.
Yeah, that one I feel like is sort of very much in motion happening. Probably the one that I'll spend a little more time on is that clientele aspect, which is it's interesting. I like it.
Good.
Cool.
Well, here's to
thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. And here's to the world's best patients for you.
Boom. Yeah. To that, absolutely.